Hello guys, welcome to day 15 of the Excel Online training. Yesterday we spoke about charts, building charts in Excel, and we described some of the types of charts you can build with Excel. We discussed spark lines, we discussed column, bar, pie charts, thermometer charts, knack charts, stack charts, all the different kind of charts you can actually build in Excel. I hope you've actually taken our time to practice those. Today we'll be talking about tables, Excel tables. Okay, and we'll be explaining how you actually can create tables and also why you actually need to use Excel tables. Excel table is a feature that most people do not actually use except when they have to import data. But that's one of the reasons why we'll discuss why you should use Excel tables, because it has a lot of advantages. But consider tables like a tool that allows you to analyze your data in Excel easily and quickly. So here I actually created a sample data. It's just random data. So we can use it to practically show about Excel tables. So like I was saying, just look at tables like a tool that you can use on Excel to quickly and easily analyze or manage your data. So a table is like an Excel table is like a container for your data. Imagine you have a house that there are no cupboards, there are no closets, there are no containers, for you to store your things. That definitely will be chaotic. So that's what table does for us. It actually helps us. It serves like containers, like closets or cupboards that we can actually arrange our data in, and helps us to organize our data so that it's easy for us to analyze such data. And it's very easy to create. It's very easy to maintain. It does a lot of things all by itself, so you do not need to bother about. I'll just show you how to create a table now. All you have to do to create a table, you actually have your table here already, but for you to now create an Excel table, you just need to click within the table, anywhere on the table. Just click anywhere on the table, then come to the insert tab, then you see table right here under the tables section. So you see tables. Once you click on tables, Excel automatically identifies the length and breadth of that table. Okay, but in case you want to expand it or you want to cut off a couple of columns, you can do that. So it gives you the option. Also, it gives you the option to show whether your data has headers. So like here, this first row here is like a header. Okay, it's not like the other rows of the data. So you can see it here as the order that contains the order dates. This is the header. So this is what I want, then I click OK. Immediately you click OK, you notice Excel will change the format of that group of data to a table format. So this is what an Excel table looks like. Okay, so once you select an Excel table, it actually shows you a new tab called the design tab. Outside the Excel table, you actually will not see that design tab, but otherwise we're dealing with charts or a couple of other things. But once you click, you see the design. You're able to change the design, however you want it. If you're particular about the color or how you want it to look like or something, you can actually just change the format. So it's easy for you to format Excel tables, just like it's easy to create them. Okay. Then also here, this by default Excel tables have banded rows. Banded rows means it considers an entire row as a single entity. So it believes that this order date contains it's in this region, this is the rep, this is the item. It relates all of them together on the same row. That's what they call banded row. But you can change it if you want it to relate all the columns as related to a single entity. All you have to do is just select the banded rows here on still under the design tab rather. So you just select the banded columns. So it's instead of highlighting the rows as a banded entity, it actually highlights the column as the banded entity. So it depends on how you're working with your data. So another thing you can actually do also is you can include what they call the last column rather. So once you create a total row rather, once you click on a total row, what it does for you, it creates a row here. Now this row shows you the total of your data, but it does far more than that. Now instead of me, if I want to normally calculate total, maybe some average or something, I need to write a formula or click a couple of, but Excel table does that for you automatically. Once you select that, it tells you what exactly do you want to see. Do you want to see the average of the data? Can you say, so I can see the average of the data, I can see the count, how many rows are in the data. You can see the you can see the count, you can see the count number, the maximum data, the minimum data, the sum, the standard deviation, the variance, and a whole lot of other functions that you can see once you select the total row option. So that helps you to do that. Now, part of the advantage is what I was saying you actually need to use Excel tables is one, like I said, it's easy for you to create and to maintain. Then also, if you notice, I've scrolled down, but you notice the header is still there. The header is not moving. Now, normally, if I'm working with Excel, let's use the same data here, but let me create a non-table entity here. Okay, can you see I had to put a space? I'll tell you why I had to put a space later. So now this a non-table entity, I can decide to give it color, design it how I want. Now immediately I scroll down, can you see what happens? Once you scroll down, you notice that the header is gone. You actually cannot see the header anymore. But in Excel tables, it helps you to maintain that header, so that whenever you're even scrolling down, you can still relate under which column you're looking at an entity. So it's easy for you to manage your data that way. That's one other reason why you need to use Excel table. Another reason why you need to use Excel table is because, by default, you just have the filters. It's easy for you to get the filters by default. Unlike, when you're working with normal data, you need to actually create your own filters, filter columns by itself. But once you, create an Excel table, it's basically just puts the Excel filters for you automatically. Then also, tables, they automatically create name ranges. Now, name ranges are like when you group a set of data together in Excel so that it sees them as an entity. So when you want to call that name range, it's easy for you. And for you to see name ranges, you just have to come here. Okay, once you select this, you see this table. This is the name of the table we created. And once you pick that name, it highlights the entire table for you. So name ranges, it's usually, for you to create. Let me show you how to create a name range normally if you are not using Excel table. If I want to create a name range, we can say column 1. Let's just call it a sample. Entity 1, entity 2. Let me drag down a little bit. Okay, we have up to entity 10. So if I want to create a name range normally, all I have to do is, highlight this, then come here and type the name I want to call my range. I can call it example range. Okay, it should not have space, right? Sorry. So I'll use underscore range. Okay, so now I've created a name range. So anytime I come here and I just click on example range, it highlights the data for me. Now instead of doing this manually, Excel table does it for you automatically. Okay, so the name you call your table, that name you called your table when you created it, is what it maintains as the name range. So it's easy for you to manage your data that way. Then also like I've shown you, another advantage is you can add the total row like we did here. You can add the total row where you can actually pick different kind of functions, standard deviation, variance, and other functions that you would need for the table. It's very easy for you to maintain it that way. And another advantage why you need to use Excel tables is because they automatically expand. Let me show you what I mean by that. Now, normally, if you create a table and you need to just keep expanding the table. But let me show you something. If I create a new column, say new column, immediately, because it's right beside the table, it's in the next column to the table. Excel table, immediately brings the column as part of the table. So if I say is equals to sum, let's say this column is the sum of this unit cost and total. Immediately I click enter. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Let's try that again. It's the sum of unit cost, total. Okay, can you see what happens? Immediately, it fills every row all by itself. You don't need to drag down. It just automatically fills it because as an Excel table, it basically just analyzes your entire data. So all you have to do is perform an operation on the first row, and then it replicates that throughout the entire table for you. Okay, so it's easy for you to maintain Excel tables that way. You create a new column, it does the rest for you. It's easy for you to drag down your table, to expand or shrink your table however you want it. So it's really good for you to learn the use of Excel table. The application would help you manage, especially when you manage bulky data. You manage data of students, across different classes, or in schools. You manage data of inventory data. You manage financials. It's good for you to use Excel table because it makes your work neater, faster, and easily manageable. So it's more easily managed than when you are using just normal Excel data. I hope you've been able to learn from Excel tables today. If you have any question, please do reach out to us via our YouTube channel on Twitter page. We'll be glad to assist in any way we can. Thank you.